Welcome to It's the Car Business, a YouTube and podcast show that inspires car dealers and their management staff to make positive changes in their dealership. Today's guest is Rudy Treminio, also known as El Patronn. If you've been on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can't miss seeing him, as his posts are everywhere. He is now very well known because of it all over the country to management of dealers and general managers. Rudy has come from the ground up to being managing partner at Sunrise Chevrolet in Queens, New York. And Rudy has recently released his first book called Game Changer. Well, I'm going to put it right in here. There we go. Game Changer. I can tell you for myself, I've read it and it is tremendous. Rudy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, David, for having me.
So let's get
here.
I'm glad, man. I'm excited. So
Yes.
Tell me and the folks out there, when you wrote this book called Game Changer, what do you mean by game changer?
Game changer means to redefine yourself and to reinvent, kind of like, not reinvent the wheel, but kind of like modify it, to change the game. The games are changing, and right now, right, more than ever, every industry you can think of is changing. And they say that the species that, not the strongest, not the fastest, but the ones that's willing to adapt the most, it's the ones that survives. So I'm always changing. I'm constantly changing, man, every day. So game changer, it's one of those things that, you kind of change the game to the next level. So there's always another level. So that's why the name came out, Game Changer. And, my conference was called Game Changer. So kind of stuck with it. And I stuck with that name because a lot of people can relate to it.
One of the things that, like I said earlier, I've seen you on LinkedIn quite a while.
Yeah.
I've seen an evolution and some great positive things of you ran a Mitsubishi dealership in Brooklyn. Am I right?
Yes.
Brooklyn, New York. And unfortunately, for most of us, we know as in the car business, Mitsubishi, although is an excellent brand, has not been promoted the way it should be for many, many years.
Right.
And it's as good as Toyota or Honda and that type of a thing. I've owned a few, so I can tell you that from my own experience. And they have not had the market share because they just didn't do some things right, I think. But it was never about the quality.
I believe that they did an amazing job building the vehicle, and they did a poor job marketing, right?
Right.
Letting know people, how great their product is. And that's why branding is so important, That's why people love the brand, certain brands, because they do an amazing job of branding. And I think that they fail of marketing and putting that point across to the mass market.
Yeah, I agree. But one of the things that with that is that I noticed when I was looking at them is you were selling hundreds of cars.
Yeah,
I look at that and I'm like, is that a misprint? I mean, it's just, every month I'd see you have some kind of thing. Yeah, this month we sold 200 and whatever kind of cars. And
yeah,
I'm going, that's in Brooklyn and that's Mitsubishi. What the hell's that guy doing? You know what I mean? He's doing something right because, like I said, great brand, but most Mitsubishi dealers don't sell a lot of cars.
No. And that separates the boys from the men. You know what I mean? You can sell, you can pound your chest and sell 600 Hondas, right? But everybody wants a Honda, man. Like, you know what I mean? All you gotta do is put a location in, and that's it. Like the place sells itself, right? Toyota, the same way. But what separates the men from the boys is, do it with a Mitsu store, and we sold, nearly 400 cars out of that Mitsu store. We did great out of there.
That's a lot of cars.
Yeah, it was. And mostly in New York, they use it for the used car, like a used car point. All right, yeah, you got Mitsu, you can do a used car point, and you sell a lot of used cars. But we did both. We were number 3. We got it to number 3 in the country. So that was huge, and that's what kind of got all we hit the ground running, and that got us a lot. That took us to a lot, up to the CEO. first name basis, on a phone call basis. We even control, believe it or not, a little bit of the market out here because we were such a big player that we had a lot to do with how the incentive was going to be allocated to the Northeast.
Rudy, what you separated yourself from the others by creating your own persona, being an individual, really pushing that. Can you give us a little background on that and kind of what you did to create the El Patronn and the whole, what did you do? Because what you did, hey, how you doing, man? We gotta hang on. We need to take you out of the screen. Bear with me. We appreciate you here, though. Okay, don't go away.
The question you asked, right?
Yeah.
I knew I had to do something different, than the rest of the GMs. I knew that I had to grab people's attention, right? And I went to a conference, and it just spoke to me. Like I had like an aha moment, and I knew that I had to do the social media thing back in 2012, 2013, when I had started El Patronn, but not to this massive, right? So I took a few tests, I took a few classes about social media, but a lot of it was just trial and error, believe it or not. But I want to do that omni-channel thing where just everywhere, like there was no other way. You had to see me, whether it was on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. And I read also that it takes about 20 times for people to see your ad before they actually click it. 16 years ago, it's about 4 times. So, just because you put one ad and people are like, oh, it didn't work, it's going to take a while. I'm sure you get a lot of personal DMs, right? People offer you stuff and you're like, who is this guy? Like nobody just does business with somebody just randomly send you, hey, I got this deal for you. Like, I got to know who you are a little bit, right? The likability, right. I got to trust you a little bit. So, I build up brand. Now people trust me a little bit more because now they know who I am. They've been following me for 3 years. They know my kids. Some of them know my kids' names. Hey, they ask me sometimes, hey, how Mia's doing, because they see Mia from she was born up until now. She's going to be 4. She's 4 now. So, I wanted to get that attention from people. And I wanted people to relate to me as a regular person.
Please go to part 2 from our interview with Rudy Treminio, El Patronn, on It's the Car Business.